Welcome to Engramm Edtech. I'm Sindhu, founder of Engramm Edtech, and I'll be taking you through the introduction of what IELTS is. Engramm Edtech has been in this business of teaching students for IELTS training for a long time now. We have the expertise and the experience of training over 10,000 students for the past many years. This has been translated into the videos that you will be witnessing in the coming episodes. We have detailed orientations for reading, listening, speaking and writing as well, followed by as many practice tests or homegrown practice tests that the student will be getting used to. Although IELTS happens to be the core training business of our company, we are also in the space of spoken English, basic spoken English, into corporate communication as well. We are currently engaged with as many MNCs and MSMEs also for their corporate communication needs. We also do Pearson Test of English, which is the mandatory exam for education abroad in New Zealand or Australia. Now, moving to what is IELTS. I've been mentioning again and again about we are in the business of IELTS. What is IELTS? As many of you would know, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. This exam is to be taken by any student who aspires to have his education abroad outside of India, and for people applying for immigration to countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Any university outside of India, be it an university in US or any university in Europe, even in Australia and New Zealand, it is IELTS cure that is mandatory for a student to apply. What is IELTS General? IELTS General is the exam that needs to be taken by a student or a person who comes with already an experience in his corporate career, who wants to move abroad and have his immigration done. IELTS comes in two formats. One is a paper-based test, the other is a computer-based test. Paper-based test has been in vogue for a long time now, right from the day when IELTS was introduced. But currently, we see that there is an increasing trend of people wanting to take up this computer-based test. The advantages being that there are a lot more slots when it comes to computer-based test when compared with the paper-based test. And also the scores are quite earlier. The student gets to receive the score quite earlier than before. Earlier, it used to be easily 2 weeks from the date of exam. Now he gets a score even earlier than that. So with these advantages, we now see people going for this computer-based test and they book through this website. See, please remember, IDP is the only authorized entity to conduct IELTS exam in India. It is no longer any other entity that you are used to or you are aware of. Please make use or please take a note of this website that has been mentioned in the slide. It is where you'll have to go and register yourself for the slot. And your passport is mandatory before you book for the exam. The cost per attempt for IELTS, be it academic or general, is 15,500 including GST. Now you may understand why training for IELTS becomes very, very important and why does it gain significance, because you're going to spend 15,500 per attempt and doesn't make sense for you to have repeated attempts. Let's just concentrate on getting the aspired score in the first attempt itself, and it is where Engramm can be of immense support to you. Moving on to the format of IELTS, be it academic or general, we have 4 modules: IELTS Listening, Reading, Writing. These 3 will happen on the same day, and we have IELTS Speaking. Say for example, you have booked your exam on July 10th. Your listening, reading and writing will happen on July 10th at the said premises, but your speaking may happen, which is quite rare, on the same day or within 3 days before or after July 10th. Just taking you to the synopsis of what these listening, reading, writing and speaking sessions are or modules are. Listening, IELTS Listening. You will be given 40 minutes. An audio will be played for 30 minutes where the student is expected to take down notes simultaneously. and then you are given a time of 10 minutes to transfer the answers onto your answer sheet. Remember, IELTS listening is, the audio is being played only once, so you don't have the option of repeating or listening to the same audio more than once. Please just take down the notes and transfer the answers. But the advantage with listening is that we have seen as many as 80% of our students getting 9 out of 9 in listening. Listening seems to be happens to be the easiest of all the 4 modules to crack. Moving to IELTS reading, especially academic reading, you will be given 40 questions. It will consist of 40 questions spread across 3 sections. Please bear in mind, please don't expect the passage to be as simple as a very basic level passage with very simple vocabulary, small sentences, not at all. IELTS academic, please treat it with a difficulty level of nothing less than intermediate to advanced, especially the 3rd passage. But the flip side is that you just need 26 to 28 right answers out of 40 to get that desired 6.5 score, which is needed for you to apply for education abroad. So what you need is 28 right answers on 40. So either you skip the last section itself completely, which is going to be the toughest for you, or you can attempt, pick and choose an attempt. Like some people will be very good in one type of question, another student will be very good in another type. You can just skip the questions and keep answering, and your target is going to be to get just 28 or 29 out of 40, which will give you a band of 7 easily. Again, we reiterate, please make use of the videos and the practice test that we have in Engramm, which will definitely help you to get the desired score in the first attempt itself. Moving to IELTS Writing. This is the toughest of all the 4 modules that you will encounter in IELTS. Very tough because it is still evaluated by an examiner, and he is going to be very cautious and he is going to read every word of yours that you have written there. It comes with 2 tasks to be done in 60 minutes time, task 1 and task 2. With academic, task 1 is going to be explain a graph, explain a pie chart, or you're given a flow chart, or you're given a process, explain the process, or it is going to be a combination of 2, like a pie chart and a bar graph, which you are expected to answer in 15 minutes. It comes with its own challenges, but again, if the student has the right strategy, it is quite easy to crack. Task 1 alone. I am not including task 2 here. Task 2 continues to be a very tough task where people need, or any student needs, as many as 20 writing practices before he can even dream of sitting for the exam. Task 2 is essay writing. Please expect topics to be of very generic in nature. Don't expect a topic which is very specific to science, which is very specific to healthcare, or anything to do with statistics. No. Which only a CA person can crack, or a doctor can crack. No. It is like any person can answer. The topic is going to be very generic, like what is your idea on population explosion? How do you think COVID could have been managed better? Generic topics where student is very well aware of what is the current scenario. Yet again, how am I going to bring it, or how am I going to articulate and present myself in 265 words in the given 40 minutes time that I allocate for task 2 is where the challenge comes in. Engramm's videos come with rich amount of content plus vocabulary, and also trainer assistance to help you here to clear this IELTS writing as well, which happens to be the toughest of all the modules till date. Moving to speaking. Speaking is, next to listening, the easiest of all the tasks to clear. We have never seen a student come up and say like, I failed in speaking. That has been a very rare phenomenon. What you need is just 6.5 in speaking. Speaking, as I earlier mentioned, it is very rarely going to happen on the exam date, most likely 3 days before or 3 days after the booked slot for LRW. Speaking is going to be completely one-to-one. You're going to be sitting in front of an examiner. It is either going to be a discussion that you will be having with the examiner, or the examiner is going to pose you with questions which are very familiar with, like very simple questions like, what's your pet? Why do you have a pet? Why do you think some people are so fond of having a pet? What do you think of, can you please explain on the memorable journey that you've had so far? Why is it so memorable? Or why did you choose this occupation? Why did you not choose the other one? Like, what made you stick on to this occupation? Why do you want to immigrate abroad? So very simple questions, might go for hardly maximum 15 to 17 minutes. What you're expected here to do is just answer the questions. Please take care of your etiquette and body language and your fluency. Grammatical errors. If you happen to do grammatical errors, then speaking is not going to give you, it is not going to give you the desired score. Please see to it that your English is flawless and you are there. You are going to clear speaking. Where does Engramm Edtech come, and where can it help you in getting the desired score or the aspired score in the first attempt itself? We have two types of offerings in Engramm. One is a complete self-learning package. We have as many as 50 videos. We have as many as 30 plus practice tests with us, all our homegrown practice tests for reading, listening, speaking and writing. With apt vocabulary, needed vocabulary, we also give basic grammar inputs for students, for which we have separate set of 20 videos with us. This is a complete self-learning test. We have a dedicated LMS which has been built for this, and LMS which is a focused one for IELTS, which we have not come across so far at all. We have another offering which is self-learning with assisted, which is like we have our trainers who are well-versed, who have the expertise of training students, who come with a CELTA certified background, have immense experience of training adult students in the age group of 18 to 42. This assisted program is a unique program or one of its kind program that you can get enrolled yourselves with Engramm. So these two offerings have been much sought after with people, and we find that every student who comes to us always is satisfied and convinced that he has had the best of experience as far as learning is concerned. So it would be great for us to have you students with us enrolled, and as teachers we take pride in imparting students with the best of education that we can give you with the best of our abilities. Thank you so much.